Greetings, my esteemed subscribers. Today I want to talk about a trend that has become very apparent in the past year because of the pandemic. But this trend was already apparent even before the pandemic, and it will continue to affect us even after the pandemic. And that is our reliance on the internet and how that relates to us. Because we are both the creators and consumers of the content on the internet. And with the pandemic, this has become very apparent because of how much time people have spent online. Because most of the world is facing restrictions, often very massive restrictions on going out, meeting people in person, and going to work in person. We are spending more and more time at home and often on our devices, whether that's on our computers or iPads or smartphones, and spending a lot of time online, often on social media. And this has become very, very apparent to everyone, and how much we rely on the internet has become very obvious. I want to talk about how this relates to us, because on social media and on the internet, content is king. Content is what life on the internet revolves around, whether that's videos on YouTube or TikTok or articles on Medium or posts on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, or even blogs or websites that you read. Content is what life on the internet revolves around. And content is the lifeblood of the internet. So we have to evaluate how that relates to us. So with content, there are two types of people. There are creators and there are consumers. So creators are the ones who create the content, and that's why they also own the content. And the content belongs to them. And there's many benefits to being the creator. Not only are you able to monetize the content you create, whether that's through advertisements on YouTube, or some platforms even pay you directly when your posts are popular, such as Medium or TikTok, but you can also affect the world with the content you produce. You can influence the world, you can start a movement, you can create a cult, you can get people to vote a certain way, you can get people to buy a certain product. So content is very powerful, and that makes the content creator very powerful. And then there are consumers who consume the content. And with consumers, you can consume content that helps you, that teaches you, that inspires you, that motivates you, and that can benefit the consumer. But I believe that most content on the internet is not like that, and most content that people consume don't fulfill these productive purposes. A lot of content just wastes time. A lot of content is very meaningless, and a lot of content on the internet has a sexual nature to it, and often that either wastes people's time or wastes their sexual energy, which is both bad. And there are also a lot of content that are just toxic influences on people. There is content that promotes unhealthy behaviors, excessive drinking, laziness, childishness, and drug use, and just a lot of toxic behaviors. And that influences people, because what we feed our minds is what we eventually become and what we eventually do, because that influences the way we think and the way we perceive the world. And it really influences us on a deeper level, what we feed our mind. So I will make another video about this and about how what we choose to consume online affects us and influences who we become and what we do. But the point is, as consumers, you can benefit yourself by consuming good content that teaches, that inspires, and that motivates, which is what my channel and the content I put out on my platforms aims to do. And I would recommend you avoid content that either waste your time or are just bad influences, which is the majority of the content online, in my opinion. So anyway, back to the creators versus consumers. Creators and consumers are not mutually exclusive. Almost all creators are also consumers, in that they also consume other people's content online. And that also inspires them and influences what they create as well. But most consumers are not creators. Creators are a small minority of people who influence the culture, who changes the culture, who starts movements, who not only are they able to make money from the content they produce because of advertisements and platforms paying money, and also even being able to sell products to their followers, but because they can influence change. Their social power is that they have people who follow them, who believe in them, who trust them, and that can be powerful, and they can use it to get people to, let's say, vote a certain way, for example, or buy a certain product, or behave a certain way, follow new behavior, hopefully good behavior. But they are powerful in both the monetary sense because they can make money from the internet content, and the social sense because they influence how we behave, what we do, and they influence the culture and the direction of society. So creators are very powerful, and that is why I suggest to you, my viewers, to become creators, because that will allow you to not only make money on the side or even make money full time if that's what you want to focus on, but also because it gives you the power of social influence to influence other people. And hopefully I want you to influence other people in a positive way. And you might be thinking, yes, but what if you don't have something to say? And I'm not going to lie to you and say that everyone has something positive to contribute. But I think if you're watching my channel, if you consume my content, then you're on the path of self-improvement and self-actualization. So what you will share is going to be beneficial to other people because you are on this path with me, and you are on this path to improve yourselves and to spread positivity and teach people and inspire people and motivate people, which is very productive. So what you will produce will be productive and beneficial to other people. So I recommend to you to become creators. And if you are on this path of self-improvement and self-actualization, I think, or I will say, you must become creators, because that will allow you to really see your potential in having social influence through social media, which is so ingrained into our modern lives. And also your potential in creating more income revenues for yourself, your financial potential. And that will really allow you to see what you can do, what you can achieve. And if you have dreams, if you have things you want to do or promote things in society, then this will allow you to do it. So that is why you must become creators in this day and age, because that will really allow you to see your potential. And of course, we are still all consumers, and maybe some of you don't know what to talk about or what to produce, and that is fine. But this is why I recommend you really pay attention to what you feed your mind, what you consume online, and what you look at in terms of content. What you feed your mind will affect who you are and what you become and what you do. And if you feed your mind with the right things, you will become a better person, and you will be able to contribute in a positive way and produce content that is beneficial to people, that promotes people's well-being and help people succeed. You'll be able to teach people, to inspire people, to motivate people. And I would recommend you avoid content that wastes your time, meaningless content, or that are toxic influences, because that encourages people to live unhealthy lifestyles. And there's a lot of content online that promotes drug use, excessive drinking, being childish, being lazy, etc. Avoid that content. Pay attention to what you feed your mind, and that will influence who you become and what you do. And if you don't know what you want to create, then I recommend you really pay attention to what you feed your mind, because then you'll have the right ideas when you do become a creator. And if you do know what you want to create, then become a creator, because it will allow you to see your potential, both financially, because it gives you new financial revenues, and it really allows you to influence the direction of society with the social influence you have from the social media content you create. So that is my message for today. Thank you for watching. I wrote an article about this on medium.com, and I'll be writing a lot of articles on Medium about different topics, mostly on self-improvement, but also on business and money. So follow me on Medium, because Medium is a place where I can really write out my thoughts, and that allows me to go more in depth. So I linked my Medium account in the description below. Follow me on that. Also follow me on Instagram, where you can DM me if you want to ask me any questions, and follow me on TikTok, where I make short videos on the same topics I talk about on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and become one of my esteemed subscribers, and I'll see you guys next time.